Political analyst Dr. Robert Watson joins us now with more direction on Herman Cain's stop tonight. Dr. Watson, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Herman Cain has managed to stay in the headlines with these sexual harassment allegations by former co-workers. Last week we saw a blunder, some would say, in answering a question on Libya. He's slipping slightly in the polls, although he told Evan Axelbank today polls will change. How important is this stop in South Florida for him at this time?
Well, it's very important for several reasons. Of course, the road to the White House runs through Florida, and it appears that the road to the Republican primary nomination runs through Florida as well. Back in 2008, for example, John McCain and Mitt Romney were in a nail-biter in Florida. Romney won much of the important I-4 corridor in Central Florida, but McCain won big enough down here that it delivered the state for him. And also, we need to remember that Herman Cain was really launched onto the political scene from Florida, by Florida. A few months ago, no one knew who he was. And then in late September, in that Presidency 5 Republican poll down here, Cain shocked the political establishment by winning by double digits, and that really launched him. So this is friendly territory, if you will, for Herman Cain.
Can Cain regain the lead over the apparent frontrunner Mitt Romney, and what does he have to do to achieve that, Dr. Watson?
Good point. You know, the most dangerous place for a Republican presidential candidate to be is on top of the polls. You know, a year ago, the then possible candidate, Sarah Palin, was on top of the polls. She tanked. Donald Trump was on top of the polls. He tanked. And then recent candidates like Michelle Bachmann, Rick Perry have all taken their turn on top of the polls and are going down. So it seems like Herman Cain's the latest to find himself in that situation. You know, on one hand, this gaffe is something that you don't know if anybody can recover from. He appeared to have no idea what was going on in Libya, and it's not the first time he's made a foreign policy blunder. But Cain is a really crafty and canny and charismatic candidate, so you really can't completely count him out. Plus, in the year 2000, George W. Bush made similar gaffes about foreign policy and world leaders. He recovered to win the nomination and win the presidency. But on the other hand, Gerald Ford in 1976 made a similar gaffe when he had no idea about Soviet influence in Eastern Europe. He never recovered, and a lot of experts believe that cost him the election in 1976.
Dr. Robert Watson, our political analyst. Dr. Watson, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your insight.
Always a pleasure.
And Steve Wiegel's joining us.